What's up, guys? We are on the roof of the office on the square in Lawrenceville. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the roof. We've been trying to get the roof on the building for a while now just to get things dried in, and I am really looking forward to that. But before we get started, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, please do that. Trying to grow the channel, that really helps us out. And if you could always like the video, that really helps out as well, pushes it out to more people. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a tour of the roof. Here's all the insulation. When you put a flat roof onto a building, you have to insulate. Now that's part of the energy code, and you can see here, this is just rigid insulation. And you put it directly on top of the roof surface. And so the guys have stacked everything up here. It's we're getting a lot of stuff on this old roof. The rain is supposed to come over the next 2 weeks, so hopefully we're able to finish this roof. Yesterday the guys worked late, and they got the top membrane out. This is called a TPO membrane. You can see it here. They've got to still attach it to all the walls. The conduit is coming up through the roof membrane, so we'll have to flash around that. We have some conduit for some future lights, and this right here is conduit for future fire pit, some lights over there, and then the lights in the front. Just met with the roofer. His guys are coming. They're gonna finish this front portion today, so I'll take some video a little bit later of how all this finishes up, but it should be watertight at the end of the day. You can see our stub ups here for future canopy. Going to be fantastic. I'm going to post a video too. The restaurant, they have started on the footings that'll go in right here, so you won't see Local Republic in the background there. You're going to have a new second story on the building, just 2 over, and that should really be pretty neat because we've got some glass windows into a stairwell, and then there's a really neat patio with an overhang out front. I'm going to be interested to see how that blocks the view looking down the street here, and how it comes out. I think you'll still be able to see Dominic's, but I'm not sure you're going to be able to see the old church in the distance. But that really should dress up the front of the square, my building, and it. I really think this is going to be the nicest block on the square. So yeah, the guys got all of the rough in for the electrical and the controls and the fire alarm system. You can see all the wires hanging. There's just a tremendous amount of stuff that's in this building. And we went through and sprayed all of the steel structure with WD-40. Now, the reason you do that is the WD-40 releases all of the surface rust. And so you can see a little bit of orange still on this beam right here. We'll hit that again, and that orange will go away. But you can see these beams have been outside exposed for a while, and they get some pitting in them. And I just really like the texture on them. It's fantastic. They just age really, really well. This beam right here had a lot of rust on it, and you can see where it was right here, but it just gets this nice pitting. Of course, the ceiling will be exposed in here. The white, I believe, is some type of reaction with the steel and the metal deck, but it does wipe off. I was really worried about that. I did spray a sealer on the steel at one time, and it may be that sealer, that some of the overspray that got onto the deck, but these steel pieces they just look fantastic. Like that one right there, they just got a lot of character to them. So yeah, we got a lot of controls in here. We'll go out back. The guys are supposed to finish up the brick. They've got most of this blue mastic on, so the the rain, water hopefully should be held out fairly well. Of course, I want to get this back roof deck cleared off. We got to get a couple of rooftop unit curbs in right here, and then what I'll do is I'll flash around that, and we'll try to get it to where the inside is not leaking. Met with the plumber this morning also. We're going to finish some of the rough end hopefully next week. But yeah, it really looks nice. It's a hot day today. It's nice in the shade, but it's really super hot in the sun. This is the best part, the view. This will be an all glass wall right here, so I'm standing in the conference room and you'll be able to look out onto the square and see the old courthouse. It's just really, really cool looking up here. I debated for a long time not building the second floor, but I figured if we ever moved into this office and we didn't have a second floor, I'd never build a second floor, which is probably right. So when this is done, it's going to be great. Another part of the construction that's been happening is hanging these front doors. These are the old doors. They may be from the 1950s. They could be original to the building. We took them apart and put them back together. You can see we've got a super wide gap in here. And I don't know if I just mismeasured the doors or what happened. So we're gonna have to figure that out, pull those doors closer together to get all of the original hardware working. I still have all of the original brass hardware. We've taken it apart, cleaned it, and it'll look great. Actually got a old fan, and that old fan hung right here. I'm gonna put it back. It should look really neat too. The tile guy is going to be here today, and he's gonna put the tile out in the front. They sent me a text last night with the layout, and it is our binary code. Just kind of made a really neat pattern, but I thought I would hide something in it. You can see here they leveled out the area real nicely. Rob does a great job of being very particular. One of the things I want to do too is once we get this temporary front wall down is stain this brick up top. I just didn't like the color of it. Of course, we replaced the brick here. I'd like to stain it, make it look a little bit more like the other side. You can see here the speaker wires are hanging down. Gonna have all the speakers connected up to the stereo cabinet. We've got all the low voltage wiring in. We are still struggling with this brick wall. You can even see some of these higher bricks right here. There's a little bit of dusting down in there. I don't know if that's from the bricks eroding or what it's really from. Some of those bricks right there looks like where they had the chisel and they just chiseled into it when they removed the plaster. But there are some harder fired bricks in there. And I've got some of the old bricks from another renovation on the square. I think we're just gonna be pulling out bricks and seeing how over time how they continue to dust and just replacing those loose bricks. Hopefully once we get the space conditioned, that should stabilize the bricks a little bit more. Right now the florist on the other side, they've got really cool air conditioning and we're getting some condensation on the wall. This turned out fantastic back here. It really looks nice. I'm up on the high roof now. Never been up here before. The guys are working on putting the TPO roof down today. It's very hot. They've got the insulation on the roof already. You can see it slopes from the front to the back. You can actually see the Aurora Theater expansion peeking up above the trees in the distance, and of course the old courthouse. It's a really pretty neat view. You can't see a lot of this from down below. You can see Local Republic and the alleyway. Now, of course, the building right here in front is going to be the new restaurant, and we will add on to top of it with the second story. We use this acoustic deck. You can actually feel the structure moving around up here. It's crazy. There's a view of the parking lot in the back.